Hey there, girlfriend. Ingafay here, confidence coach to home based business owners. And I am super excited to share another coaching friend with you. His name is Shane Mulgrew. He is based out of Ireland and the UK and has distinguished himself as a industry leader that provides unparalleled service to elite sports professionals that transition into business. Shane has a keen ability to forge international partnerships as well as create global collaborations and generate growth for business. So, without further ado, I wanted to introduce you to Shane. So, hey, Shane, super excited to have you here to talk about how to transform elite sportswomen into business entrepreneurs. But before we get into that, I wanted you to tell us a little bit more about you, who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them.
Yeah, well, here, thank you. Thanks for having me, and hope we can create and generate some value today. That's the most important thing. As I say, look, I'm from Ireland and the UK. We're sort of right beside each other, literally a 60-minute flight. So we always say Ireland and the UK. I have a major sporting background. That's why I do what I do. I help sports people, elite athletes, professional sports people transition from the end of their career to a career in business. So whether it be serious injury or just age, when sports people come to the end of their career, there's what we've noticed is there's a real serious personal decline and financial decline. So you want to completely eliminate the difficulty that athletes experience in order to create a successful lifestyle and business for them, just like their sports career.
Awesome. So, when it comes to professional women, what do you do for them?
So really, it's all about them. So that's the great thing about what we do. It's for the individual, because you'll have so many, I suppose, experts in doing what we do. You've coaches, you've consultants, and they direct them in a certain pathway that is familiar to them. So I would know, and from my opinion, my experience in developing and growing businesses, I know the pathway that I went. But we can't take everyone on that pathway. It has to be for the individual, because they are unique. So they have their own unique skills, attributes, and qualities, and their own life experience. What we do is we create a thing called an ECC, which is your emotionally charged connection with people. And then we help them develop a personalized service, whether it be high performance or maybe it's remote coaching, whatever it may be. It's a specialized service that's going to be provided by that individual. And of course, look, with the coaching, the business development, we help them and train them up in any aspect of their life or skills that we feel that they need, let's say. But the most important thing is it's tailored from the core of the individual. It's all about the person, and then we develop a strategy and a system from there, because it has to align to their own core values, has to align to their own personality, and they have to want to work with people that they actually can emotionally connect with. So it's all about the individual, but it all stems from their own ECC, and then we create a successful business from there.
Awesome. So, why did you choose to work mainly with elite sports people?
Because that's who I am myself. So I come from as I say, a major background in a variety of sports. I mean, I was actually, from a school perspective, I was uneducated. I mean, reading a book would be the last thing in the world that I would ever do. So all I had was sport, and I was quite lucky. I'm one of those people that can sort of take my hand to any sort of sport or form of physical activity. So sports was just my go-to. So with playing international soccer, playing professional soccer for different clubs at a young age, trying to gain a professional contract with elite Premier League clubs in England, that was just my happiness. That was my comfort zone. So that's why. And then today, I'm now a wee bit older, but I'm an elite CrossFit athlete. CrossFit is one of the fastest growing sports in the world, and it's just now I'm obsessed with it. I do that every day, as well as run my own remote business here that helps other athletes, elite athletes, sports people to transition. So sports is essentially everything I know. It's my life experience, and I love to work with athletes because I can relate to them. I know what they're going through, and I know that the sort of professional bubble that they're in, and how severe, when that bubble bursts, how severe it is then making that transition. Because sports athletes, elite athletes, they are in I suppose a bubble that they aren't really allowed out of, let's say. And then when that's taken away, it's sort of like the unknown. They're sort of thrown into the unknown world. A lot of athletes think they have no skills or attributes or qualities. How are they going to find a profession or a career, or how are they going to even provide a service to people that's going to generate an abundance of income? So we teach them how to do that. But I think the reason why I help athletes is because I am one of those, and I can really relate to what they're going through.
Now, with that said, I'm curious, what made you want to work with women? I guess because I know when I initially talked to you, you told me that you primarily work with more women than you do men.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in the sporting world, the sporting professional world, we're aware that women don't get paid as much as the men in a lot of elite sports. So as much as there is still a personal decline, there's still a real sense and loss of identity. And this is changing, this is developing, and it's getting better. But within the world we live in, women still don't get paid anywhere near as much as some of the men in the elite sports. So I think the reason that I suppose women are more attracted to what we do here is because we help them gain that financial income, which is so important. But as well as we work on the personal development aspects and skills that they need. But I think the reason for that is because they don't get the abundance of financial income that a lot of the elite sports men do. So that's where we can really help them, earn as much money as they probably should deserve when they're playing sport. They should feel equal when they're playing sport. But unfortunately, in the world we live in, that's just not the case. So I think the reason we work with a lot of women that make this transition is because they can earn, when they develop and grow their own business, they can earn an abundance of income. They can work with other female athletes if they wanted to. They can really create that strong woman independence that they want. I think that's part of the reason. There's probably a variety of reasons, but I think that's the main one. Is they don't exactly have a forever income when they're playing professional sports. So we offer them an opportunity to generate, as I say, an abundance of income with their own specialized service and business.
Right. I don't know, with you just saying that, it made me think maybe, and you can confirm or deny this for me, is that why it's a better progression for an athlete to be an entrepreneur more so than a 9-to-5er? Because I don't know, just thinking about their schedule, I mean, they're on their own schedule for the most part when you're an athlete. And to me, it just seems like it would be a hard transition to go from someone telling them when they had to do something and how they had to do it, more so than having something of their own when they're actually creating. Because then I think when you think about an athlete, that's what an athlete is, essentially creating a result. And as an entrepreneur, that's what you're doing as well. And I don't know if you would necessarily see a 9-to-5er doing that, because I think they're creating a result that somebody else had the vision for. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. I think it's, when you look at an athlete, if you look at their sports career, it's all about progress and reaching achievement and goals and targets and getting medals and all the success that they may or may not achieve, but they're always aiming for that. Their performance is aiming towards that sort of uprising effect. And then what we see is that actually their life goes like this till either steady or downward. So the fact that they can control their days, they have full control of that, and they get to decide, okay, if I want to achieve a certain goal or target within my business, it's up to me to perform to do that. And this is why so many athletes and sports people have all the attributes and all the skills and qualities that they need to be a really, really successful business owner, an entrepreneur. is because they are really target driven, because they are goal orientated, and their life is based on performance. And it's the exact same for any business owner. Is when you can perform every single day, you can do the simple things really well every single day, then you will be successful, you will grow your business. And again, when we look at elite sports people, again, they've such a wide connection of people. They've developed so many relationships, and they can utilize those relationships with the service that they're trying to provide, or the business that they're trying to grow. So I would absolutely agree with you, yeah, for sure.
Wow. So what does the transition, or what is the transition from a sports athlete to becoming a business entrepreneur look like?
Okay, so from a negative perspective, it's the first thing that we realize when speaking to all the athletes is the loss of identity. So they've built up this identity as a sports person, as a professional sports person or athlete, over a period of maybe 10 to 15 years, let's say, and that's what they're used to, that's what they're familiar with, and then all of a sudden that's gone. So that's the first thing we notice. And then depending on the sport, depending on your achievements, there's a financial decline as well, so there's a financial attachment to that. With us, we want to completely eliminate that, because we've added a personal development, a personal skills development process, as well as a business development process. So we've got we teach people how to internally, emotionally connect with themselves and others, and we teach them how to grow and how they can earn an income for themselves. So they get to decide what skills they want to develop or need to develop with our mentorship and training and courses and all that. But then they get to set their own goals, their own financial goals. Maybe, let's say, they didn't earn enough financially with this that aligns to the success of their sport, but they now get to do that. They've got the business machine, a revenue generating machine. They've got that now where they can reach that financial level that they really want to. Depending on, success and financial freedom is different to everybody. It's a matter of an opinion. So it's really, they get to control, they get to decide, and then we're on hand to help them with that, whatever it may be. We've got a wide community of people that helps with every aspect. So it's not just me that works with them individually. We have a community of experts, a community of global coaches and consultants, that if there's maybe something that maybe I don't specialize in, then we will bring someone in to help them with that. So it's there's no hiding place. We want to make sure that we only have successful individuals. We only have people that are physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially free in their life.
So you talked about personal development and, setting up a financial goal. What are some of the other things that this transition would involve? Or are those the only two things?
Yeah, well, again, it depends on the individual. So we all have our own wants and desires in life. And the personal development aspect, the personal skills aspect of what we do stems from that person's, I mentioned at the start, the ECC, which is their emotionally charged connection. So it's whatever emotionally charges them, So it's not that we have this pathway and you must stick to it. It's all about the individual, and we are with them hand in hand to help them connect to whatever that emotionally charged connection is. So again, it's with sports people, they are maybe seen or judged in a certain light, and maybe they feel they have to stay within sport. That's not necessarily the case. There's in the society today, globally, there's unlimited amount of opportunities to achieve and do whatever it is you want to do in life, absolutely anything. And we want to showcase that. But again, it's whatever the individual wants. So me personally, my goal for what I do is to help people create freedom for themselves. I think there's real beauty in feeling free, and a real beauty in having inner peace. So that's why to develop yourself and create inner peace within yourself. If you've got inner peace, then you have no problems. And then freedom financially is so important. A lot of people have a sort of negative perspective on wanting to earn income or wanting to generate a lot of money for yourself in your life, whereas money can do a lot of great and amazing things. So for me and what I do when I work with people, I want to help them create freedom, and whatever freedom is to them is what's most important.
Awesome. Yeah, it seems like you constantly reiterate the importance of it, tailoring it to the person, that individual. So it's not a cookie cutter type of program, that you really find out what the person needs and then figure out how you can serve them by helping them with their personal development, having that community of leaders, that if it's something that's outside of your zone of genius, that you have someone else that you can talk to or refer them to so they can continue to grow. Now, with that said, can you talk about personal development? Because I know that probably is something that is very key in this transition from an athlete to a business person. Because when I think about an athlete, I think they probably already have the work ethic and they know about the consistency. It sounds like it would be more skill based that they would be working on as well. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So there's a real sense of self-doubt with a lot of people we work with at the beginning, because they have maybe a lack of belief that they have any knowledge or experience in the business area. So we need to help them understand the processes and what it means to develop and create a personalized service for, we call it a target market, but it would be their audience, so the people they work with. So there's a real element of self-doubt and fear, which is normal when you are in a comfort zone for 10 to 15 years, and then all of a sudden you have to, I call it the bubble burst. This bubble's burst and you have to do something different. You have to find a job. You talked about the 9 to 5, whereas I couldn't do a 9 to 5. So we want to create a profession or a career for them that generates freedom, that they are in control of. Absolutely. So what we really want is to create something for them. To reiterate, yeah, it's all about that individual, but personal development is so important, and I am someone that's where my life stemmed from, personal development, because I was in, I suppose, a deep hole, physically, mentally and emotionally, and at that young age I didn't understand what these emotions or feelings meant, so I needed to develop in some way, shape or form to get out of that hole. So it's really taking them outside their comfort zone. As I say, there's an element of fear and self-doubt, but it's so important that we give them that confidence in order to create again, we call it a high ticket service, which is a really high valuable service that generates a lot of income to their audience. So there is a transition there, but when I say we're there for them, hand in hand, we do everything we can to make sure they are completely clear and confident in what they're doing, that the service they're providing, they're fully qualified and to perform this service as well. So there's bits and pieces that are in, but a lot of athletes, believe it or not, they are unbelievably qualified to provide a lot of services. They have so much experience in a lot of areas that correlates with business. So but it's a thought process as well. So personal development is so important.
Yes, I would completely agree. Completely agree. So I know you were talking about a high ticket service. Do you have different tiers of your service that you provide for those that may not necessarily be able to invest in a high ticket service?
Yes, absolutely. So not everybody is going to want to have a global business or that generates a lot of income, that works with a lot of people. Not everybody wants that, and I'm actually not one of those people that wants that either. So I only work with a small amount of people per year, because I suppose in what we do, we pride on value and results, because in the business world, value and results is a referral generator. So your business will get more and more clients and generate more revenue because of the value you give others and because you provide successful results. So I only work with max between 10 and 20 people per year. But we have, of course, a pillar-to-pillar process where you may not align to the high-ticket services, but you will definitely align to, okay, how can we help this person make this transition? Because that's the most important thing. And what we do is we help people through the transition. That has to be the most important thing, because that's the problem we solve. We must help people with that, whether it generates a lot of money or not. That's the most important thing, that we're able to solve a problem. And we found that this transition, either personally or financially, whatever it may be, that's the problem we solve. So we want to help people with that, no matter what, whatever service they want to do with us. But there's different levels of service that we provide, depending on what the individual wants, for sure.
Awesome. It just seems like, I guess, whether it's a sportswoman or someone going from a 9 to 5 to entrepreneurship, it's definitely a transition outside of our comfort zone where we are going to have some kind of doubt. And even regardless of what, I guess, the way you started, if you're doing something that you haven't done before, you really have to face your fear and do it anyway. It sounds like you're just constantly reiterating that. So before we close today, do you have any final thoughts you would want to share with my tribe?
Not really. I don't have anything really. I don't want to be one of them sales guys for that. I suppose I'm just really grateful that I was able to speak to you today and to speak to your audience. I really appreciate it. As I say, we know what we do. We do it really well, and it's highly valuable, and it achieves successful results. That's the key. That's our USP. But I think to really help people with the transition, I want them to know that the opportunities are endless out there. So there is, as I say, because I've been through it, I've been in that sort of deep hole emotionally and mentally. To help people from falling into that hole like I did, I want you to know that transition is difficult, but the opportunities out there are endless. And whatever it may be, you don't have to be a business owner. You can work in a 9 to 5. That's perfectly normal, and it's perfectly successful as well. Whatever you do, there's loads of opportunities there to find your own inner peace and happiness and freedom and success. Again, success is whatever you want it to be, and don't let anybody tell you any different. Success is what you feel success is. But to stay clear from that emotional and mental decline, just know that you're a worthy person and you can do whatever you want to do. You may be a sports person, or maybe you're not a sports person and you're listening to this as well, but you are a person of value, and there's a reason for that. We're all here for a reason. We're all really, really valuable people, and we have so much to give the world. So I probably want people to know that,
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about, I know you had a consultation call that people can connect with you and find out if it's a good fit for you guys to work together. So go ahead and share with us about that as well.
Yeah, so I mean, just as a thank you, guys, for listening, and hopefully we were able to give you some value today. Use the below link and book a consultation with me. And again, it'll be a consultation based on trying to discover what aligns with you. Okay, so again, we dive back into that ECC, that emotionally charged connection with people. On this call, on this consultation, we'll help you for that 60-minute consultation. We'll help you develop that ECC, and then you can sort of do what you want from it from there. So it's not a sales call. It's a thank you, and for maybe if you are interested in creating something, a wee bit more for yourself in regards to freedom and your own business, and able to personally develop your skills, then book that consultation. We can have a chat, a really, really relaxed chat.
Awesome. And I know you gave me your website as well. So this is your website. So if people wanted to connect with you via your website, this is here as well. And I'll have both of these links in the description. So you guys don't have to worry about writing it down. You can just kind of cut and paste it in the description. And it's been great talking to you, Shane. I'm sure that they got a lot out of what you shared with us. I know I did. I learned something new today, the ECC, about the emotional charge connection. So I'm hoping others would learn about that and want to connect with you and get more information about that. But as always, thanks for watching, you guys, and bye for now.
All right. Thank you.